Welcome into the DNVR Avalanche podcast presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Use code DNVR when you sign up for a new account to get amazing odds boosts every single day. Rudo and Jesse coming at you live. The highlight of the night for the Avs maybe just happened, which is Alex Ovechkin scoring his 50th goal of the season against Vegas.
Yeah.
So that kind of sums up how this game went for Colorado.
Well, I was actually gonna make the joke that it was a super dope goal that Ovi just scored. Like, that was easily the most exciting hockey highlight I've seen all night by a lot.
That Cale Makar goes pretty dope.
Yeah, you're right. The Makar goal itself was pretty sweet, but the rest of this game,
But that goal is meaningless, and this OV goal kind of a big deal.
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
So a little bit of context there. Avs lose 3-2 to the Seattle Kraken. I guess it's my turn for the 60-second breakdown.
Yeah, sure. Hell yeah.
The Avs got punched in the mouth immediately.
Yep.
And unless your name was Cale Makar or Nathan MacKinnon, they never really got up off the mat. Yeah. The second period happened.
Barely.
It felt like, honestly, when the Avs didn't score on the power play late in the second period, it felt like the game was pretty over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Third period, they kind of meander through it. They start pushing the last 6 minutes. They get the one to make it a one-goal game, but ultimately not happening for the Avs tonight. And I don't think anyone on that team would come out and tell you they put in a very good effort tonight.
Yeah.
And you know, part of that is them giving up too quickly, and then the third one. Pretty easy, especially a team in the Avs situation, to go, okay.
Right.
My mind is already in Edmonton at this point.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we talked about it before that it was going to be a weird game just because Seattle's got nothing to play for.
Yep.
The Avs are in load management mode. Game like this, we thought probably one of those games where you more do kind of process
stuff, yeah.
Result is secondary. Really the only thing that didn't go kind of the way I thought was Seattle scoring 3 quick goals off the top.
Yep.
Give them credit. They came out with some good jump. Looked like it took Frankie a minute to settle in. After those 3, he was fine. And they just took advantage. The Avs couldn't, like you said, couldn't ever bounce back. I thought MacKinnon had his motor going tonight.
I agree.
But like everyone else, pucks just were... Everyone looked like they were fighting the puck tonight except for Cale Makar. I thought Nathan MacKinnon, he was everywhere, all over the ice, but it just seemed like the puck was getting away from him.
Well, yeah, he'd make a great move, beat one guy, and the puck would roll off of his stick. He'd find the puck in the slot, and he'd sail it 3 feet wide.
Yeah.
It just wasn't quite clicking in the end there, but...
Well, and you made a great call out during the game, and we were talking how you really can kind of tell what kind of night this Avs team is having based on whether they're hitting the net or not.
Yeah.
And
they were not hitting the net tonight.
We're not hitting the net tonight, no.
A lot of shots wide, high, and otherwise.
I mean, it was a weird game, so you don't want to like pin it on any one thing, but there's 2 or 3 individual plays I can think of that it's like, you hit the net there.
This
and
game looks a lot different.
Probably back in this game.
The Kadri opportunity on the power play.
Kadri, Comfer, and Byram all had...
Yeah, that Byram one, yeah.
Each had one that it's like, just hit the net and give yourself the opportunity more than anything
forget
else.
hitting the net. A lot of nights, those are goals.
Right.
Outright goals.
Yeah, yeah.
So...
Yeah.
Didn't make it easy on themselves in that regard, and for sure.
Yeah, and then also, Grubauer, Francouz, you wanted to be a little bit better there in the first.
Yep.
But at the same time, not, I think it was the first one where it comes off the end wall.
Yeah. I mean, JT Comfort just gets completely torched on that play.
Right. But I mean, like, even that third one where you say talk about we don't really love his read there.
Yep.
Byram still makes the play, chips the puck away from the net, and it goes
kicks off a skate directly.
Right back in.
Okay.
So it's like even that, man, like the game was really just kind of like a nothing. It's like a nothing game.
Yeah. Agreed. It's the way it goes. I mean, maybe you're looking at that second goal from Frankie and you're like, you don't love getting beat short side, right?
Right.
But, I mean,
great shot.
Yeah. You don't take anything away from the shot. Goes posting in and you're like, okay, well, sometimes this kind of stuff happens. And you can talked about Comfer on the first goal. You have on the second goal, Jack Johnson and Curtis McDermott both decide to go on an adventure to the corner and just leave a lane to the net. And it's like, well, it's not great.
Yeah.
You don't love those things.
Right.
But, I mean, ultimately, it was the offense that came up short more than the defense tonight, I think. So,
and honestly, so like the comment right there about Seattle pressing real hard. That team. We've seen teams try that all year.
Yep.
Real hard forecheck, real aggressive in the neutral zone, pinching at the blue lines. And we've seen the Avs overcome it time and time again. Tonight was just one of those nights where it just seemed like the Avs weren't fully engaged.
Yeah.
And when they're not fully engaged, anything that's that type of high pressure, if you don't have your legs going, it's going to be tough. No excuses for the Avs, but I don't really think they need them. I don't really think that they're going to dwell on this loss too much. But
I don't think so.
It's just to me that this really was like just a total wash of a game.
Yeah, I look. We've seen the Avs, as you said, when they are skating, they can beat pressure over the top and create abnormal amounts of odd man rushes that. You have to you got to have some stones to play the Avs with high pressure.
Yeah, because if you're sending one guy too aggressively and he gets beat, you're done.
And you know what? If the Avs are playing 75% like it felt like they were tonight, sure, it's a great plan. You'll probably look pretty good.
Yeah, and what's hilarious about that is even still it's 3-2, and you're having to hold on at the
close.
End.
Yeah. I said this about the Washington game, too, where it's like, boy, it felt like the Avs really played their C-level game, and the other team still could have lost this pretty easily.
And they're throwing everything they've got.
So, and especially, you're looking at some of the issues in this game, and you're like, well, Francouz isn't going to be the goalie in the playoffs. Curtis McDermott certainly won't be playing D in the playoffs. Jack Johnson might not be playing D in the playoffs.
Right.
It's hard to see how this translates to when it matters.
Right.
With that being said, losing never feels great.
Yeah.
Especially when someone like Phillip Grubauer is in net on the other end.
Right.
He wants to beat the Avs, and I'm sure the Avs want to beat him. But I guess it had to happen eventually for Grub.
Yeah. I mean, losing is never good. Losing is never fun. It's never going to sit well. But, this is one of those ones, and I'm sure the players will be bothered by this much more so than we will be.
For sure.
But yeah, this is just one of those ones that in the last 6 games, we kind of ran through the schedule. There are going to be games that are going to be that they're going to be able to get up for, that they're going to want to play hard.
This wasn't one of them.
And this just wasn't one of them. You got 6 games to go. Everyone knows the score. Everyone knows where we're at. Everyone knows what the Avs are looking for. Everyone knows what the Avs are looking towards. And it's a nothing game against Seattle. And it was played, honestly, even after the first 10 minutes of Seattle flying around, they kind of played like it was a nothing game.
The entire second period of this hockey game was played in neutral.
Yeah. It was literally just like 2 strides. Hey, every shift, no more than 2 strides.
Yeah.
How far can you coast off your 2 best strides? That's all we want. Both sides.
It really was not particularly entertaining for the majority of the game.
No.
I don't know how else to put it to you. I do have a question for you, though, Jesse.
Mm-hmm.
Whose back is more sore, yours or Cale Makar's?
Dude. I hope mine, because if he's going through this right now, we're in trouble. Dude, he was great. He was phenomenal tonight, I thought.
Unreal. A genuine superstar force out there.
Yeah.
Maybe it pops a little bit more when the team's going half speed around him. But I mean, that goal is just all world stuff.
It's ridiculous. Yeah, I mean, seriously, that's something that should be on every highlight reel for the next 2-3 nights. I mean, 2 beautiful moves up high, steps around a guy off the wall, give and go, throws it short side from 5 feet out. Yeah, just ridiculous. And he seemed fired up. Something happened early in the game where he really did kind of seem,
have some jump.
Yeah, and then he scored that goal. He's going through the handshake line, and he's pumping everyone up. He's yelling, and it just looked like he was going. We were talking about some of the most of the Avs not really having their legs tonight.
Yeah,
he had his legs. He was skating, and he had a couple opportunities, and had the Avs come back in this game and pulled off the comeback, I think he would have played a pretty big part in that.
Likely would have been surrounding him for sure.
Yeah, but no, I mean, that's hilarious. We were talking about mayonnaise chicken bunch before the show started.
We were.
Yeah, I mean that's the type of stuff that as you're getting closer to the playoffs, you don't take much out of this game, but you see that and it's like, oh boy. That plus playoff McKinnon and the Avs get rolling and just knowing it's always a good reminder that that's in there.
Yep, it's. I mean, we can't say enough about Cale. We've talked about him all year. He's the king of the game, by the way, by a long shot. Not just the goal, but played 26 and a half minutes because he can.
That was just shy of 4 minutes more than the next closest player on the team.
It's outrageous. This year especially. You look at last year, and there were arguments against him winning the Norris because they're like, oh, well, he doesn't PK. Well, he doesn't play in that situation. He doesn't do this. He does literally everything this year. There is no hole that you can possibly talk about for him.
Yeah.
And it's just unbelievable. Like, genuinely on another level.
I was having a conversation with someone just a couple days ago. In the NHL, not who's the hottest player, who's on the longest streak, whatever. In the NHL, 4 defensemen, in my opinion, there is only one other player that is in Cale Makar's tier.
Okay.
Would you agree with that?
Yes.
I'm assuming we both know it's Victor Hedman.
Yeah. For like total skill,
yeah,
it's Hedman, and I don't think there's much left in that tank.
I agree. Yeah, I think it's going to eventually be Cale Makar and then everyone else. But for right now, I do still think it's Makar, Hedman, and then you get into the next tier of really high end. Yeah, Adam Fox, Roman Josi,
bunch of dudes in that.
I don't know if Quinn Hughes is really in that, but that
you have the 2 best defensemen in the world.
Yep.
And you have a bunch of dudes that at any given year they could win the Norris, but on a consistent basis, they're really, really good, but they're not the best.
Right. Yeah, Devon Taves, another one that goes in that second tier, but it's just that Cale Makar really just is on a different level than almost every other defenseman on earth, and he's only 22.
Yep.
Health is always the deciding factor, but all things equal, what he does every night is special.
No doubt about it. We are brought to you, of course, by DraftKings Sportsbook. You can go over there, use code DNVR to sign up for a new account. The Cale Makar point hit. You should bet it every single night there's an Avs game.
Yep.
Even with this nonsense game, the Cale Makar point hit. So jump on that bet. Make sure you're getting in on it every single time. The game just end?
No, it's overtime, and Vegas went to slow it down, and Jack Eichel blew a tire, last man back.
Yikes.
And just barely poked it away. It was free breakaway.
There you go. I can't imagine you'd get good odds on Vegas missing the playoffs at this point, but you could go bet on that at DraftKings if you want. That's an option. Get over there, use the DNVR code when you sign up for a new account. You get $5 on any NBA playoff game. Don't even have to get the bet right, and you get $150 in free bets to play around with. Bet on whatever you want. Must be 21 or older. Colorado only. Other terms, restrictions, and conditions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Of course, if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. So Yahir has the TV guide up, and like the cameras are in the way. So the show that I saw up there just said Dr. Pimp. And I was
Pimple
like,
popper.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I was like, what the heck?
What, Dr. Pimp.
What shows is Yahir looking up right now?
I'm also just really curious where he's going at.
Yeah, I don't know what
10:45,
channel he's trying to put on right now.
Well, this is part of what I got to do is make sure that.
No. This is what works. What Yahir should do is go get a Vodka TV.
That's what
instead.
Yeah, great call.
Much easier way to get through and get whatever you want on the TV. They have all Colorado sports, including national channels for football. So they've got you covered top to bottom on that front. You can go over to avoca.tv/DNVR. That's EVOCA.tv/DNVR. And you can get $10 off your first 3 months. So that's $15 a month to get set up with Avoca, get it hooked up right near your TV, and watch whatever you want when it comes to Colorado sports. Highly recommend it. That's seriously like 4 times cheaper than DirecTV if you want to get altitude.
Vegas wins.
All right. Good for Vegas. Sucks to suck, Washington.
Yeah.
Avoca is dope. Go check it out. Again, Avoca.tv/DNVR. Second period of the DNVR Avalanche podcast presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. I saw some people in chat talking about it, ranting out a late scratch from this game.
Yep.
Things were kind of jumbled. Understandably, the power play didn't get the job done tonight. Well, Nazem Kadri back in the lineup. Got to find his legs there again. There is no surprise that the game went the way that it did.
Yeah.
I think, maybe you could ask for a little more effort out of the Avs.
Yeah,
but also,
for sure.
Look, this is a team right now just throwing stuff at the wall.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, and I mean, 2/3 of your top line are out.
Yeah.
Kadri's coming back in. You think you're going to have a little bit more of a traditional lineup. Mikko goes out at the last second, non-COVID related illness. You're changing things up now. Suddenly, instead of just adding Kadri back in, you're really putting Kadri in and moving Lekin into a side of the rink he doesn't normally play on the power play.
Well, you saw at the end of the game, they're running a line of Kadri, Burakovsky, and Ben Meyers.
Right, yeah.
They're just out there trying stuff at a certain point.
Right, and it's just, again, I think it does consider the circumstances, like good on them for even making it this close of a game. But it's hard to take anything meaningful away. And honestly, one of the things that I guess I would take away, and it's partially because it also doesn't really matter because he can't play in the playoffs, but I think Ben Meyers looks really good.
Yep.
He had one shift in particular that like really popped to me. And you and I were just talking about it. Like this is such a great acquisition.
Yep.
It just immediately gives you something else in the pipeline that is right at the top that you say, this is something new that we didn't have last year that we are going to have, at the beginning of next year. That looks like it could be at least some level of impact at bare minimum in your bottom 6. Looks like he's got great instincts.
I mean, how many times did we talk about at the trade deadline with the Avs where it's like, well, do you really want to empty the cupboards?
Right.
Do you really want to if you can pluck guys like Ben Meyers out of nowhere, go for it.
Right.
Like, you have another fount of resources that way. And we, like you said, we talked about it off air during the game. This is genuinely how you extend windows, is getting guys like that. So obviously not going to impact the playoffs, but we'll see next year just how much he can bring to this team.
Yeah, I mean, just in 3 games for him so far. I mean, I've been really impressed again just with his. We talked about letting his natural instincts kind of take over and go to the net and put. I obviously I didn't know a ton about Ben Meyers before the Avs picked him up, but just doing the little bit of video scouting, if you'll call it that, like, kid can put the puck in the net. He's a good finisher. He goes to the net. He gets the puck in difficult areas. And it looks like he's not afraid to do any of that stuff at the NHL level. And it's already translating to a few good opportunities and one goal. So you sit there and you're like, cool. You didn't like giving up Tyson Jost because that's a guy that still had a little bit that you could dream on and at a reasonable cost. Cool. You just replace him with a guy that probably has more upside.
Yep.
Younger,
more growth to come,
and is a little bit more, controllable beyond the next couple seasons. And so it's like, cool, we're right back to being in a good spot. And now, oh, by the way, because this guy's a little bit younger, now we're not desperate for one of our AHL guys to turn out.
Yep.
We don't have to have Sampo Ranta now. We don't. I think Martin Kaut, we've all kind of moved on from. Shane Bowers, all that stuff. It's just like, cool, plug and play.
Yep.
Looks good.
Can we bring up one of Manny's comments? Not that one, but the one above that, because he's talking about Bednar calling him out for not working hard and weren't ready to play, and Bednar's right.
Yeah,
like they did not play hard tonight. They obviously weren't ready at puck drop because they got 3 dropped on their heads.
Mm-hmm.
And look, a coach has to go out and say that every time a team plays like this.
Yeah.
But also, this feels like a game where Bednar goes back in the room and says, hey, all of these things are true, but also no one got hurt tonight.
Yeah.
You have a game against Edmonton in a couple days on this road trip. Wake up and let's go.
Make it right.
But
yeah.
This is fine.
Well, so and I think that's ultimately what it is. He's talked a lot this year about exactly what you and I alluded to off the top in the pregame show of we are more concerned with the process than the results. We trust that if we follow our process and the work comes before the skill, we will end up on the right side of the scoreboard more often than not. And, he's talked about this team has a really high standard for themselves, as high of a standard as he has for the players have for themselves. We've talked about, do you guys feel the pressure of, being the favorite, whatever. And he says, look, no one's going to put more pressure on us than we put on ourselves.
Yep.
And to me, this is one of those nights where everything you just said is true. In the back of his head, he's like, look, we came out healthy. This game doesn't really matter. But we have a standard that we hold ourselves to that has to be higher than what you put on display tonight. You get up 3-0 in a series. You decide to take your foot off the gas because you're cruising, things are going well. Suddenly you give a team life. You let them back into it. So Bednar has to hold that standard. While we all know and understand this, it doesn't matter. You came out healthy. It does not matter. He is upholding that standard, like you said. Anytime you have a game like this where it's a stinker, and I was actually going to talk about that when we were talking about the national media view. That's one thing the Avs have not had a lot of this year is just bad games,
straight up terrible games.
Even in games that they've lost, it's like, wow, they played pretty well. They could have won that game.
Outside of like the one Boston game and
Boston, one of the Columbus games.
Even those, like, they were competitive for a while.
Right. And then the New Jersey game from a few weeks ago.
Yeah, that one kind of fell
And
apart
you could probably
badly.
put this one on the list where it was just like, you just didn't show up. So Bednar is definitely not wrong. You have a higher standard than that. Even in a game that doesn't matter, you need to be getting after it more. You need to be playing up to your standard. Because, again, it's just another lesson in you cannot take your foot off the gas at any point for any reason.
Tinfoil hat theory.
Yep, love it.
It's 420.
Okay.
Colorado's a legal state.
Yep.
Seattle is in a legal state.
Yep.
They just both teams just agreed to have a smoke session in the
Wrap the
locker
pot
room
up,
before.
y'all. Here, we figured it out. Wrap the pot
because
up.
it really felt like this game they were cruising around at high speeds.
Yeah.
We are brought to you by Lightshade, by the way, for 420. So go jump on there. Go get yourself to Lightshade. Use the DNVR code.
I believe they have a location that's open till midnight. It's
for
in Denver
420.
County.
Yeah.
Yep,
So you can still get in.
Still got time.
They're having some 420 deals. I got to look them up here. I actually don't know the 420 deals by heart. But there you go.
There it
Here
is.
says he's going. So jump over there. They have 5 best-selling products that will be buy one, get one for $1. Starting today. You don't even have to go tonight. They're at 420 deals. Go all the way through the 26th. So go sometime this week. 11 different locations in Denver. They got a premium selection of literally anything with THC in it.
Yeah, dude, that place is the Lightshade down off of Evans. They're legit and they're all super nice.
Yep. They're genuinely great at what they do. And if you're not getting one of the great deals, you can, of course, get the 25% off with the DNVR code, and including this product, Ripple, fast-acting dissolvable that's clinically proven to hit 2 times faster than any of the leading gummies. It's super easy to use. It starts absorbing within 10 minutes. You can do it just take out a stick, pour it in your drink, or you can pour it right onto your tongue with their quick sticks, however you want to do it. Works super quickly, gets that THC going for you, and you'll be feeling, hopefully, well, I guess it depends on if you get the indica or the sativa on whether you'll be more or less energetic than the abs tonight. But,
yeah. So, dude, those Ripple things are sweet, too. They're completely tasteless.
Yep.
So you can mix them into anything. And just
drink it or eat it like normal, and it's like cool.
And 100%.
Technology has come a long way.
Yeah, well,
not how I had to get THC into my system when I was younger. Put it that way. Dude, not for the show. This is not for the show. Also, of course, brought to you by Breckenridge Brewery. 8 different kinds on tap down here at the bar. If THC is not your thing, maybe beer is. You can get it from Breck Brew at your local liquor store anywhere in the lower 48. So go find some, go have some.
Did you see the clip from Seventh Heaven that was going around Twitter today?
I did not.
Oh my God, dude. Do you remember that show?
I never watched much of it. My babysitter was really into it.
If I find it and send it to you, can you play it on here? Dude, it's so funny. I think Pete Blackburn was the person that I saw sent it out for 420,
right.
And it's just like I forgot how ridiculous of a show Seventh Heaven was. Because like you said, it was so long ago. But yeah, dude, that
okay, great.
Okay, I just sent it to you. Yeah, hopefully you can
we do have one super chat here, but I guess Yahir's trying to download this. So. $5 from the Schick. The only part of this game that actually worries me is why didn't Bednar make any attempt to switch up the lines to spark something? Oh, he did. You did miss it. He definitely swept out those lines in the third period. Things were getting weird. But again, part of the conversation why I'm not worried here, why I'm not like, oh, this is a pattern. We saw the last 6 minutes of the game. All of a sudden, the Avs were like, okay, let's turn it up a notch here.
Yeah.
They get the one goal from Lehkonen off of some good hard work down low. Yeah, the empty net or lack of empty net because they couldn't get it in the zone got pretty sketchy.
Right, yeah.
But something that I think you normally see that frustrates people where you go, well, why didn't the Avs play this hard earlier in the game?
Right.
Valid, but also it's a reminder that okay, they can play this hard when they want to.
Yeah, it's and dude, like this is part of the reason why we are so excited for playoffs to get going is because I'm sure people are getting tired of hearing us say the same things over and over.
Yep, I have no doubt.
But you know, man, like it's the same thing over the course of a season and over the course of a game within a game. It's you're down by 3 and suddenly the clock is ticking and it's easier to jump over the boards and have a little bit of energy. I mean, you know, one of our favorite sayings is deadline spur action.
Yep.
Well, the end of a game is a fucking deadline that
Hard
you
one.
you have to be on one side or the other come this deadline. And as the deadline gets closer, it's okay, well, we should probably ramp this up a bit. I sent it to you on Twitter.
Nah.
No, you're good. And so like, yeah, no, you're not wrong, but again, dude, this is just one of those things that Bednar's right to criticize. He definitely that's is within his right to do that. The players probably feel pretty upset about it, but at the end of the day, they just didn't have it. There really isn't anything that you can take away from this on a team level. There's things you can take away on individual levels. There was a couple things I liked that Bowen Byram did. Some great reads.
Yep.
Some real good vision on some passes.
Yep.
I thought Arturi Lehkonen played well. He had a real nice stretch pass at one point, and then he scored the goal to tie it. I mentioned Ben Meyers earlier. Cale Makar is really good. But on the whole, like, nothing that Bednar did or didn't do in this game it has anything real tangible going forward into the playoffs. The fact that the Avs didn't have it tonight, just...
I mean, speaking of things the Avs didn't have, the thing I say every show, no Landy.
Yep.
No Taves.
Yep.
No Mikko Rantanen, who has 90-something points.
Yeah.
By the way,
yeah.
In a game where the Avs needed one more goal, that guy might matter.
Right. Yeah, no, it's a great point. And we say it all year. We are not here to give excuses. We are here to give context.
Yep.
And it was a flat performance, and you probably can make the argument that even with a flat performance, if you've got your full complement of players, you
get away with
probably
it. Yeah.
still feeling pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, how do you C minus? You give the Avs a C minus, a C?
Yeah, C minus, C, anywhere in there.
And they lost the game by 1 goal.
Yeah. So it's like, I don't know. It's just,
it's obvious to see how much better the Avs can be. And
it's the fact that this game stands out so much.
Right.
It's such a departure from what we've gotten used to that's what gives you confidence in. Doesn't matter.
And yeah, it doesn't. And look, the context here is they show up in Edmonton and they play like this again. You're going like, okay, yeah. I get it, but figure it out.
Right.
They do it again in Winnipeg. Then you're like, okay.
Yeah, what's
something
going on?
Needs to be
You're
fixed.
Cruising a little too hard here, yeah.
But a one-off loss against a bad team in a game where they didn't play very well with their backup goaltender in net. Mm-hmm. There's just so much context here.
And here's the other thing to keep in mind. They gave up 3 goals in the first, 10 minutes?
Yep.
And then nothing the rest of the way.
Game. None.
So...
Yeah, and again, you're looking at the goals, and it's like, at least on 2 of these, there's extremely obvious problems.
Yeah.
JT Compher, if you're a center, you can't get roasted that badly defensively. Jack Johnson and Curtis McDermott, you can't both commit to the same corner without the puck.
Right. Yeah, just a couple mental mistakes end up in the back of your net. Is what it is. Like what we were saying in the pregame, put it in the trash, move on.
Yep.
On to the next one. Nothing you can do.
It's just not that complicated, I don't think. What is this clip ready to go?
Yeah, I was going to say, do you have it?
Yeah,
you should play it.
We'll
see. We'll see what happens. Yeah. See where the wind takes us.
That's The Simpsons.
Can't keep your heads to yourself.
The 90s were a different time.
Yeah, oh my God. I think I watched that like 4 times in a row today. That was, oh my God. I forgot. I did not remember Seventh Heaven being that dramatic.
It's a total soap, man. It's a total soap.
The piano playing behind it just kills me. How appalled what? It's like, relax here. Yeah. Oh, my God. Yeah, the 90s, man.
Different time.
They talked about that like it was like super meth, like meth, crack, and heroin all combined.
The horror.
She just confessed to smoking a joint in college, and he like almost left.
I don't even like. The buildup of that didn't even make sense. Like,
right.
I experimented a little bit myself, and the last thing I would have guessed she was about to say, I smoked pot.
It's a roller coaster, man. Seventh heaven. What can I say? And it starts with like, I knew they'd do something stupid. I didn't think it'd be this stupid. Like, whoa. That is so funny. Like, because weed became legal in Colorado in what, 2012?
Yeah.
So 10 years now.
Basically, my entire adult life.
We've been able to go to the store and just buy that shit for 10 years now. And it's so funny to look back on that clip from, like the late 90s, early 2000s. It's just like how times have changed.
the kids these days don't even know how hard it was.
Dude,
out there.
I've thought about that a couple times before. I'm like, these kids will never know.
You never had to roll up on a street corner with some shady dude.
Yeah. Like, the most awkward exchange of all time. You got to make small talk with them, and it's like, oh, fuck. Yeah. See?
That's not how it was for us.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Yeah.
that was the other thing, too, is like, you had to get it from people that couldn't just go get it. So it's like,
right.
I don't know where they get it from.
Some dude had to know a dude who grows it.
Yeah. Yeah, they had to have like they had to live either with like really bad parents or on their own so they could have a grow in the basement.
Yep.
And it's like, oh my gosh.
No one who had a grow back then was a stand-up citizen.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like they had to have like really shitty parents that just like didn't care. That they were like actively letting the kid sell weed.
Oh yeah, apples, Gatorade bottles.
Bro. Soda cans were thrifty around my high school. Like, you know what I mean?
Uh-huh. Make sure you're always saving your straws. You know?
What are you doing with that? You throwing that away?
We could use that. Okay.
Yeah.
Look, it's 420, all right? So this is what this show is about at this point.
Yeah, you guys are just lucky that we haven't done more of this.
Straight up.
I have nothing else.
Game wasn't fun,
else,
but it's not anything to blow your top over. If you're picking something to be mad about, be mad that Vegas won tonight, all right? You can both be mad about that instead of the Avs game. That's where I'm at with it.
I really wanted them to lose. I was like, that's...
Yeah, they're done.
Because at that point, they would have been 5 points out with 8 possible points remaining.
They just need too much help at that point.
Right, and even still, they're 3 points back. Games are all even. I guess they're 2 points back now of Dallas. So now suddenly they're back into the conversation of wild card team playing the Avs round 1. So I don't know, man. It's going to be an interesting run here down the stretch.
Yep, we'll see. They're not eliminated, but they still need help.
Yeah, still need help.
Either way, you'll find us talking about it probably more tomorrow. 1 p.m. normal pod time there. We hope you'll join us then. We're going to wrap this thing up. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out super late tonight. I guess it's not too late. It's only like 11:15, 11:30.
11:09.
Oh, it's a good quick one. Snappy
go.
pod
Yep.
there. Get you guys to bed tonight.
Get out of here.
We appreciate all y'all. Be sure to like and subscribe here on YouTube. That helps us out a ton, especially these late ones. Get it in the feeds for the people to watch tomorrow morning when they wake up. Other than that, we will talk to you on the next one.